Welcome back. In this video I'm going to show you a game I've recently just played, the Albin Counter Gambit against Queens Gambit. It's one to remember. There's a line in it called the Lasker Trap. Though I don't quite get the Lasker Trap, you can see why it's important to remember the idea of the Lasker Trap. It's absolutely brutal, and White basically just resigned here with just... Okay, he wasn't completely lost, but he just gave up the position. Obviously, over the course of 11 moves, I got 100% accuracy. I know the Albin like the back of my hand, so if you make it an accuracy, I'll jump all over it in the Queen's Gambit. So it starts with D4, D5, C4, and E5. Book move here for White to take on E5. We just play D4, restricting the development of this knight. And White here plays knight to F3, the better move. It prevents the Lasker Trap, but you'll see why the idea still remains. Knight to C3 with C6. We've got to keep a hold of that thorn in White's side here on D4. It does provoke White to play E3, and this is the start of the Lasker Trap idea. It's not quite the Lasker Trap because the knights are developed, so it's not quite as powerful, but it really does put White in a sticky situation, and you'll see why White just gave up here. So again, bishop to B4 check. White blocks, best move, and D takes E3. The bishop can't take because it's pinned by this bishop, and usually White will just pick this bishop up, and that's the mistake. Because we'll take on F2 with check after King moves to E2. We can't take on F2 because we'd win the Queen for free. So we now win the Queen with check, and only now pick up the bishop. White develops to C3, and we will pin the knight to the King on G4. And White breaks the pin, and again this is another mistake. These are very natural looking moves that White are playing, and we just punish them. We castle queenside with check, and White just gives up. He just gave up. There's nothing Black can improve here. His Stockfish loves what Black's done. Well, should I say, well, loves what I've done. I'll show you the Lasker Trap. This is the idea to remember, because if White plays C3 immediately before knight to F3, it's even more powerful. So, sorry, E3. Because now we play bishop to B4 check after White plays the very natural, and I might add best move, bishop blocking on D2. We still win the pawn on E3, and after White takes on B4, we just take the F2 pawn. King again can't retake because we'd win the Queen for free, but we're going to win the Queen anyway. We're going to take the knight on G1 with check. It's important to make a knight and nothing else, because we'd end up losing the game. After the rook retakes on G1, we're going to play bishop to G4, skewering the king to the queen. And after the king moves back, we can either take with the bishop or take with the queen, and White's just going to resign here. So you'll be surprised how many people I've caught out with the Lasker Trap. This is so similar to... what we actually played in the game. The only difference is the knights was out, and now see he plays E3, and this idea still remains. It's just not quite as powerful, but it's still enough to make White feel like resigning. So yeah, again, there's a video on this I've made. I suppose I'd be better remaking the video, because it was one of the first ones I made, and it's pretty poor quality. This is probably still poor quality, but not quite as bad as what I've made. So yeah, hopefully it's been educational, instructive. Hopefully you'll drop me a like, follow, any feedback, good or bad. Even pop in midstream on YouTube and Twitch. Say hi, greatly appreciated. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.